On the night, Adrian Vale accepted the city's highest humanitarian award. The applause lasted longer than it ever had for anyone else. Cameras flashed, smiles were rehearsed, and in the third row, beneath the chandelier's golden glare, Mira Rowan clapped too slowly, precisely, counting each beat, like a clock nearing midnight. 5 years ago, she had stood in this same hall, but as a nobody. An assistant with coffee-stained sleeves and ideas that never made it past Adrian's desk. He had smiled at her then, the same gentle smile he wore now, and promised her a future if she stayed loyal. She stayed. He rose. The night he betrayed her. It was raining. She remembered, because rain always sharpened memory. Adrian had presented her research, her data, her sleepless months, as his own. The board applauded him. She waited for him to say her name. He never did. By morning, her access card was revoked. By evening, her reputation was quietly dismantled, with whispers he'd planted long before. "You're talented," he'd told her later, not meeting her eyes. "But this is how the world works." That sentence became Myra's fuel. She didn't shout. She didn't beg. She disappeared. For 2 years, Mira worked where no one looked. Archives, public records, forgotten servers. She learned the language of loopholes and buried footnotes. Adrian Vale was a master of appearing clean. But even polished mirrors crack if you study them long enough. She discovered patterns first. Shell charities that donated to one another, projects that existed only on paper, communities photographed once and never helped again. Then she found names, real people hurt by decisions Adrian had buried under spreadsheets. And finally, she found the silence, payments that stopped just before audits, emails deleted seconds too late. Mira didn't expose him immediately. Revenge, she knew, was a story best told slowly. She re-entered his world, invisibly, publishing anonymous reports that praised Adrian while asking innocent questions. Journalists noticed. Investors applauded his transparency. Adrian, flattered, opened more doors himself. When he invited her, without recognizing her, to join an ethics review panel months later, she almost laughed. She sat across from him. In meetings, hair cut differently, voice softened. He never knew. Or maybe he did, and fear disguised itself as ignorance. The night of the award ceremony, Mira watched. Adrian thanked donors, mentors, the people who believed in me when no one else did. The crowd loved him. They always did. Then the screen behind him flickered. At first, it showed the highlight reel prepared by the organizers. Then the reel glitched. Just once. A technical error. People thought. Mira held her breath. The second video played without introduction. Emails, transaction logs, photographs of abandoned sites Adrian had claimed to rebuild. Audio clips, his voice, unmistakable, discussing how long public sympathy lasted after disasters and how to time donations for maximum press. The hall went quiet in a way Mira had never heard before. Not shock, recognition. Adrian turned, confusion, melting into horror. He searched the room, eyes darting like trapped birds, until they landed on her. Mira stopped clapping. Security moved in, but too late. Phones were already raised. Truth spreads faster than guards. As Adrian was escorted off stage, he met her gaze. "You ruined me," he mouthed. Mira stood. "No," she said softly, though no one heard her over the chaos. "You did." Weeks later, headlines replaced applause. Investigations followed. Adrian's foundation dissolved. His name became a case study in ethical collapse. Mira didn't give interviews. She declined offers to tell her story. Revenge had never been about fame. One evening, she returned to the hall. It was empty now, chairs stacked, lights dim. She sat in the third row again and listened to the silence. It wasn't loud, it wasn't triumphant, but it was honest. And for the first time in years, Mira smiled, not because someone fell, but because she no longer had to carry the weight of his rise.